Welcome to Tales of Tales with MD, where we share heartfelt stories and memories of our beloved pets. Today, I have a very special guest, somebody who introduced me to quality pet grooming. Pet grooming was not her first choice. She was doing post graduation, and that's when she discovered her ikigai and proudly took pet grooming as a full time profession. As we all say, you attract what is meant for you. So I'm welcoming Shweta Verma to Tales of Tales with MD. Hi Shweta.
Hi Manisha, thank you so much.
So Shweta, we call this section as Prospective Beginnings. So tell us about your prospective beginnings. How did it all begin? When did you start getting associated with pets?
So honestly, as a child itself, pets were always a part of our family, and I think I got it from my parents as well, because my mom grew up with pets, not just dogs but horses, goats and cows and buffaloes, and we had this huge farm and everything. So, and every summer, I'm born and brought up in Navi Mumbai, but so my parents used to make sure that but I'm originally my dad's from Agra, my mom's from Mathura.
Okay.
So
yeah, I was wondering where was so much space in Mumbai.
No. Yeah, so Mumbai never had that, but yeah. So when my parents made sure that as kids we used to always summer vacations were like grandparents' house. So when we went there, it was always like okay, so we were introduced to so many animals at an early age, because it was like a village, so proper gaon. So we had like these farms. So कभी किसी को बच्चा हो रहा है, कभी किसी को, and all cousins together. So कहीं पे भी सुन लिया किसी के farm पे, आज गाय ने बच्चा दिया है. So we all used to run over there उसको देखने के लिए, और कभी कोई चिड़िया ने घोंसला बनाया उसमें बच्चे हैं. So we used to actually struggle देखने के लिए कि कहाँ पे क्या है. Then peacocks were a very yeah. So I was like so peacock dancing and all that. We used to wake up to those sights, as a child. So there was a book which I very distinctively remember. Also, it was a breed specific book, dog breeds. And the front page was like a German Shepherd on it. This beautiful looking German Shepherd, and she got that book from there. And then घर पे थी, so I was also going through, and that gave me introduction to a lot of breeds which so we only had breed pet के नाम पे back then was only Pomeranian.
Yes.
And honestly Spitz, not even a Pomeranian, which we used to think was a
Pomeranian. Yes.
So it was like that. So वो देख के I was like introduced to so many terriers and spaniels and stuff like poodles. So that's when I started loving poodles also. For the first time I saw it in that book, and I was like, oh my god, this is such a beautiful dog, kind of a thing. So yeah, that happened. But obviously, like every Indian mother, every time you would go and tell her,
I want a dog.
I want a dog, and she would be like, I already have three. I don't need more. So it was always that. So then it was like, and she'd all act. So her friends had a couple of dogs every time. So she told all her friends also कि please किसी को भी बच्चे कुछ भी हो रहे मेरे घर पे फोन करके मत बोलना कि चाहिए. So once my sister, I remember, was like, भाई मम्मा चाहिए ही चाहिए. So she got us a fish tank.
Oh. So that's the first introduction to
that was like
pets, easily manageable.
Easily manageable. खाली खाना देना है, cleaning and all that. So then that cleaning and all responsibility was for my brother.
Okay.
Fish tank cleaning and all that. So that introduced us also to responsibility as kids, to be very honest. Before that, it was like never, we were not really responsible for anything. And then one day, I remember my brother and me heard a conversation. So one of my friend's mom called her dog had given puppies.
Okay.
तो हम दोनों ने सुन लिया एक्चुअली. तो फोन पे वो बात कर रहे थे, एंड देन वी वर लाइक मम्मा चाहिए, एंड सो शी वाज लाइक नहीं एंड ऑल दैट, एंड suddenly she was like, okay, fine, go. So I mean, I still remember we had bicycles. I was like, what?
How old?
7 or 8 years old.
Okay.
And I was like, me and my brother were like, okay, drop everything, we're going now. आंटी को बोलो हम अभी आ रहे हैं लेने के लिए. It was like that. And so I remember I had that Miss India cycle back then. So he was so tiny. My first pet, Dodger, he was a pom.
Oh.
So we went there and I put him in my basket, cycle ka basket आगे वाला, and we got him home. So that was like our first pet, and then me and my sister and brother all were like, okay. So then our entire life revolved around him, although obviously mom was the primary caretaker for him and us as well. But then so his walks and stuff like that we used to manage, and Yeah, he was. Yeah,
I
the
thought
same.
you would say that we got a peacock from Agra because वो
We
हमारे
wished.
छत पे घूमता रहता था.
Actually, so as kids, we used to, all cousins used to, so like we were growing up was that. So we all used to sleep on terrace, summer vacation,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So we all used to sleep on the terraces, and some days we used to just wake up and we had this peacock dancing in front of us, and I'm like,
Privilege.
wow, privilege. So now I realize what a privilege that
Exactly.
was.
Yes. Yes.
As kids, we were like, ये तो हाँ, मतलब it was a very normal sight for us.
It was an
and
obvious part of life.
of life for us. Like, but now when I realize that people did not have that. When I see my friends and all that, so they never had a
City
point for
life.
their city life. So they've always had a city life. So for them, it was something very unique and this thing. And I was like, okay, now they go back to farms and second homes and this and that. And I was like, yeah, this is pretty much what I have seen growing up. Like, for me, it was like a very every summer vacation thing kind of a thing. But yeah.
So
It
anything
was,
you distinctly remember about Dodger, or any happy memory that he used to do
Oh,
this
he
silly
was,
thing,
Thankfully, he was a very nice dog, but he had this thing of every time the door would open, he would run out. And He was this white dog, small white dog, 5 kgs, and his ears were all black.
Oh.
So only his ears had black hair, and entire body was white. And then he would. So we had a ground floor back then. So the door would open, anybody would come in, he would run outside. And then we would go chasing him, and then he would go underneath the cars, garages. And then वो बाहर आता था, and he had this one black grease line on him. And then we were like, okay, you want
So he was trying to match something in his body.
Yeah.
with
So we
his
used to actually
ears.
take that. But back then it was so annoying because you would pure white, you would just bathe him. Next day he's like black.
Black, yeah.
I'm like, okay. And it was so funny. And then he learned. There's one very funny memory that we have of him. So back then, my mom used to. My dad's on the merchant navy. So my mom sometimes, when my sister grew older, she would drop us and visit dad on ship. So this one time she dropped us. I don't know if the pom pom idli, if you know what happened. So we had this ground floor house. So we had a back door and a front door. So every morning, that pom pom idli guy would pass by at around 9:15 between that time. So as breakfast, we 3 kids would pick up idli from him and eat. And we would obviously give him also, to bikha hum bikha rahe. And then mom came back. And then it all stopped, obviously. But he would get very restless at 9:15.
This is time for my pom-pom.
Yeah, he
Where
would
is
go.
it?
That pom-pom idli guy would go and he would run from the back door to the front door, back door. And my mom just couldn't understand what is
आज कोई
happening
इडली
to
ले
him.
क्यों नहीं रहा?
उसको नहीं समझ आ रहा है कि इडली क्यों नहीं मिल रही है और मॉम को नहीं समझ आ रहा है कि इसको क्या हो जाता है रोज सुबह इसमें एंड इट्स नॉट लाइक वी कैन डिस्क्लोज इट टू मदर दैट एवरी डे वी यूज्ड टू ईट दैट तो ये हो रहा है ये and then after much long then obviously after 15-20 days he realized okay अभी कुछ नहीं मिलने वाला है so that behavior settled down but
They get used to it.
हाँ get used to it कि now I have to eat what I have to eat mom's back so that happened and then much later we told mom that okay this is like really you guys did that to my dog.
So I have a house full of dogs. Like I have 2 dogs now. So, which breeds you have now?
So now I have 2 poodles.
Oh, cute.
Father and son duo.
Oh,
So yeah, the elder one is Milo. He's 11 now. And the younger one is Ginger. He's 9 years old. I mean, he turned 15th May, he turned 9 years old. So,
why did you name them Milo and Ginger?
actually, to be very honest, I wanted to name Milo Toast back then. So, but then nobody agreed in my house. So then I was like, okay, fine. Milo was a favorite drink as a child.
Yes.
So then I was like, okay, Milo. Because coffee, okay, again, I love coffee as well. So I thought coffee, but the guy's like childhood memory. So let me name him Milo. Then Ginger came in. I wanted to name him Toast again. So then my brother was like, what's with this toast? So I was like, he's toast color, like have it brown. He's like, what if he's black? You'll name him Burnt Toast. And like, you just ruined
That is a good
name
one.
for me. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, fine. Then unanimously in the house. And Ginger was like, okay, fine. So like, so Ginger, वैसे.
Same story. Like I named my dog Whiskey because he's whiskey Scotch color, and I named my dog Oreo because she's black and white.
I remember Oreo
So,
had
yeah.
these paws as a puppy.
Only
like,
white.
Only white.
And
like
she was
perfect
black.
Oreo color.
Yes.
She's
I
like the
think
perfect Oreo.
Most
match.
of us do that. We name our pets with the things we associate or
Yeah.
just the color. Nice. You have Burfi in your spa also.
Yes, we
So
have.
what's the story
Burfi.
behind Burfi?
So Burfi just, I don't know, randomly when we shifted here about 3 years ago. So he just randomly came outside like roaming about and like where is he? So we tried to search for his siblings, his mother. We couldn't find anybody. So then I took him in, but obviously I couldn't take him home because I already had 2 and most of the times I am here myself, so they are also being end of the day taken care by the family. So it was like that. So then, so Barfi started staying with me at the store. And yeah, first initially I tried to look for a house for him. So, but obviously the adoption didn't go well.
Okay.
And then by the time I got so attached to him that I didn't want him to go. So,
That happens.
Yeah. So by the time then I was like, okay, fine. You know, now he's a
So
part
why
of my
did you
life.
why is he called Burfi? You like Burfi a lot?
I don't like Barfi, but I am not very fond of desserts and sweets, honestly. But one of my friend, he's like, he's too cute and he's too sweet. I was like, ठीक है फिर बर्फी रख देते हैं. So, and he was like that Kalakan. I love Kalakan.
Okay.
And he was like that
Kalakan
Kalakan color. So I was like, ठीक है बर्फी ठीक है. So वैसे बर्फी उसका नाम पड़ गया.
So, you know, what Whiskey did once, we had gone to work and he was small, he was 6 months old. We kept one dal ka packet on the slab in the kitchen and it was new packet. When we came home, he had eaten the entire packet of kacha dal. And then we had to take him to the vet, and for a week he was taking injections and he was pooping dal, you know, through the week.
Overdose.
So this is something which I cannot forget about Whiskey. Something like this which your pets have done, you know, which is like, it's like a weird thing, but which really did put them in trouble.
So 2, 3 like for Dodger, all of them have Milo. Thankfully has nothing.
Oh,
He's been
good
a
dog.
very good dog. Yeah, that ways. Dodger, yeah. So I told you, right? Door opens, he has to run
yes.
down. So we shifted to our second house, and that was on the 3rd floor. This guy had this, and it was a new building, and there were still stray dogs down and everything. So this guy, obviously, door opened, he went down, and we were not at home, and it was those landline days. So we were in college. I think I was in college only, but I think tuition or wherever. So he ran down, and obviously those street dogs were not friendly with him. They were not his friends. So he got into a brawl with them, or I don't know what. He got hurt, and he came back. And that was like real trouble. And then he got this wound. Actually, that's when I decided that I'm not going to become a veterinarian also.
Oh.
That was my first time that, looking, no, this is not a profession. So my parents wanted me to become a doctor.
Okay.
And so I said, okay, fine, I'll become a veterinarian. When this happened, I'm like, and I'm sobbing with him, and he's going to the doctor, and there's blood and there's wound, and I'm like, no, this is not this is not something that I can manage with dogs. Like, I can't see them in pain. So I was like, okay, cancel.
I'll
So
do the happy thing.
I have to do the happy thing. Like, they come in happy, they go in happy. So how, when. Back then I didn't know, but I was like, this is for sure not something that I want to become. And Ginger had this habit of eating my rubber slippers.
Oh.
So, which we never realized. And for some strange reason, he would only eat the high-end rubber slippers ka center line. I have no idea. So, because of twice he did that, and then so I switched to those, I was like, local slippers kharido, that's the best. Like, you know, I can't
So did he
afford
stop
more.
eating the local slippers?
He did not eat those.
Oh yeah, high-end
And
dog.
then,
Matlab,
I
I'll
have
eat
no
good,
idea
good
how
stuff.
he correlated or whatever. And then obviously, and then I used to get into the salon. So he used to sit beside my table. So I think he used to end up eating a lot of fur, which I never realized. So when he was 2 years old, he started, and tabhi tak bhi he used to bite my slippers. So I have very distinct, my favorite pink slippers he had bitten, house slippers. And I really remember that, okay. So, and then he started pooping blood.
Because of the fur.
So his intestine was clogged. With all that, which I didn't realize. So then when I took him to the doctor, we did a sonography and everything, and we realized, okay, this is that. So he said, I'll give you medicines. Let's see if it happens. Otherwise, we'll have to do a surgery for him. So I said, okay, fine. So, but then it didn't go. So we had to do a surgery for him. And the surgery, obviously, they showed me whatever. So it was all my slipper So I knew all pinks and blues, and there's a lot of fur. So they showed me everything. So I knew it was like, you know, I feel that, okay, as a parent, it was my fault as well. More than him, it was my fault.
So, you know, you said that you didn't want to become a doctor, and hence you wanted to do something so the dogs come happy, they go happy, and hence you chose pet grooming as a profession. So, tell us the story of how, you know, Yes Says Doggy started.
Yes Says Doggy started much later. So while I was doing my MBA, so one of my friends' elder brother, he kind of sowed the seed in my mind that, you know. So I was like, this MBA to karna hi hai, marketing MBA mein karna. Uske baad kya karna? I was like, okay, let me see where we get placed and ऐसे. I never really had this goal कि okay, this company, this designation, ऐसा कुछ नहीं था.
I think most of us do MBA like that.
I choose to believe that. So back in the days, I think it was that only.
Yes.
कि, ऐसा ही है, ठीक है, place में. All I knew is that I didn't want to do a banking stuff.
Hmm.
I was very clear about that. But rest any industry was okay with me. So he was telling me that, why don't you do this? I said, abhi to I'm doing MBA. Let me finish the MBA and then we'll figure out as and when karna hai. So then I worked for a year in an ad agency I got placed from my college. So after a year I quit and then I wanted to do this. So then pet grooming was something that I wanted to do. Then again I thought I'll go to the U. So it was very difficult. The only difficult part that was to convince my parents. So my house is a very white collared job kind of a thing. So they believe in education and white collar jobs and all those things. Fairly, because they've never stopped us from doing what we want to do end of the day. But then just as parents, they're worried, right?
Yes.
Because back in the days, it was only medicine or engineering.
They
were the
want
two
assurance.
careers. They want you to do well in life, and those were the only two careers known to them. So
Yes.
it was like they wanted. My mother was most difficult to convince that pet grooming, because they had no clue, and then for them it's like why do you want to wash dogs? What is it? So you have a hobby, which is okay. You have dogs, you're doing it, but what? And I was
Wash
like,
dogs was a nice one. I've never heard that.
it was. I have heard it all. And so, so it's like, and then for them, क्या बोलेंगे? हमारी बेटी क्या करती है? कुत्ते धोती है. Mama. So she was like, कि बेटा, like what? After doing an MBA, you've done your post-graduation in microbiology, then you've done an MBA in marketing, you've worked, and now what do you want to do this? So I was like, yeah. So she was like, no, please. So that went a lot of back and forth. It took time for, and then end of the day. So they've always been like, okay, fine, if this makes you happy, go do that. So I told her, at least let me go and do the course. So we'll think about it. I'll think about it as a career later on, but मुझे course करना है and let
So
me
there
go
are
and do that.
specialized courses
There
for
are
this.
specialized courses, yes.
Okay.
So in India, when I wanted to do, there were barely few schools that were teaching. So and there was one academy in US which I wanted to go, but then I did not choose that because so I was 26 when I decided I want to do this. So my education background and then the age and not being married. So I was like, अगर मेरा US visa reject हुआ, so उसके बाद it's not that my parents are going to be like कि अब तुम करो, but अभी तुमने try किया, visa reject हो गया, अभी now get back to this thing. So I was like, नहीं ये तो नहीं करना है मुझे.
I don't want to
I
take
don't want
any
to
chance.
risk it. I really didn't want to risk it after them agreeing to it, So I was like, okay. So Singapore was the next close, and then I thought that Asia hai,
Yeah.
so kind of it would be easier when I come back to groom, so let me go there and learn. So then I found out about my academy. I spoke to them, so they said okay.
So which academy was
So
this?
I went to Dog Care Grooming Academy in Singapore.
Okay.
So that's where I did my basic foundation course. So I did that. Then I came back, and once I came back, so that was a 2 months course, and I kept going to Singapore. So I just went there, did my thing, and come back. So it was that. And then when I came back, then okay, fine. Then again, it was a challenge to open the business because my parents were like, "Tumne course karna tha, kar liya. You now get back." I'm like, "No, now I want to do this only." So then they're like, "Okay, fine." So for the longest time, they thought it's a hobby, and they're kind of fulfilling a hobby for me. So they're like, "Okay, theek hai." In fact, when I was making the shop also, तो ऐसे हो रहा था कि the interior guy would give us 3 options. And my mom would be like, नहीं बीच वाला कर दो.
Like don't put any brains to it.
कि obviously low quality का तो सामान नहीं डालना है. And एकदम हाई भी जरूरत नहीं है because पता नहीं कब तक करेगी तो ठीक है मीडियम क्वालिटी जो खराब नहीं हो थोड़े टाइम तक वो कर दो. So everything was like that, So like ठीक है जो भी है as long as it was there. So and then I also never thought of it as a business, to be very honest, to start off with. Also for me it was like I have to become a better groomer. I have to become a better groomer every time. Like it was
so
that
it was more of a passion. You have to do this better.
Yeah, so it was always like that, So in fact, one of my clients also told me, you're a very good groomer, but a very bad business person. And then that hit me hard. Like I was like, okay, yes. End of the day, the show has to, okay, fine. Thankfully, I could sail for long because I was not the bread and butter winner of my house. So, and thankfully, I didn't have things to take care of other than me. So I could do what I was doing, but end of the day, I realized that, okay, I'm running a business unit and that has to be self-sustaining. So I have to do things now to make it self-sufficient as well. How long can this go on? So it was much
It cannot
later.
stay a passion forever.
It cannot stay as a passion forever. End of the day, to sustain a business, to run the show, for me to be a good groomer, it needs money, right?
Yes.
So then the place has to run with certain set of money, and that cannot always be coming from your dad. So
Yeah.
end of the day, yeah. So then that's when I started. I also started taking business seriously.
This was which
Till
year?
this was 4 years into grooming.
Oh, okay.
So yeah,
Hmm.
pretty late, but yeah,
Yeah.
that was 4 years into grooming. That yeah. So then I started till then my dad was funding my rent even so.
Okay. So you had groomed how many pets by then?
Thankfully for business part of it, I was my operating cost I was removing from day
Covered.
one,
Okay.
from the first month.
Okay, that's
So
good.
yeah, that was good for me. So
Hmm.
and back then, to be very it was very nascent when I started also.
Yeah, actually, there were hardly
10
any
years
pet
ago,
salons.
10 years ago, it was a very nascent market, and it was the attitude, oh, my dog's going to the spa.
Yeah, yeah.
It was that attitude. It was not like my dog needs to go there. It's a part of my dog's life. It's a necessity. It wasn't like that. It was a luxury.
Yeah.
Cut to now, when people think of it as a necessity, and
Yes.
it's a lifestyle that your dog needs to have.
Yes.
So that's the difference that has happened. Back then, it was only that it's for the rich. That was also the attitude that grooming is for the rich and
Anyway, this perception is also there in India, which has changed a lot now. That people who have a lot of money keep dogs or
Yeah.
pets, because you need to spend a lot of money on
not.
them.
Yeah, from pet ownership to pet parenting, it has come.
parenting,
So it's a
yes.
different ball game altogether now.
Yeah.
But back in the day when I started off, it was very
Unheard of.
different. There was a lot of education that went into it for me as a groomer to the pet parents, because they did not understand the need for it.
Yeah.
So a lot of my initial years went into explaining it to them why it was needed for their pet. It wasn't a luxury that they were giving to their dog, but it was a necessity.
And it's
It's
not
more like a health care
It's
for
not a
their dog.
one-time thing that you just do it once and stop it.
Yeah, correct. And then
Okay.
it is much more than washes.
Yes.
That was again something that you had to educate them. Along with my parents, other people also needed to learn that it's
Yes.
not just a dog wash.
Yes.
There is a lot of thing that comes into grooming.
Yeah.
So pet grooming is not just pet washes.
So it's been how many years of Yes Says Doggy?
10 years now.
10 years now.
Jan,
Great.
10 and a
Awesome.
half years. Jan, we
Oh,
finished
awesome.
10 years.
So and I'm sure you want to do this now. Continue.
Yeah. I can't think of anything,
Anything
else.
else,
No. I
yeah,
just
just-
cannot think of anything else. So since past 10 years, I've never had a day at work.
Oh.
To be very honest. And I'm not just saying this for the sake of saying this, that I love being around. We've had all sorts of days, but so a lot of people work is stress, and they need to disconnect from work to de-stress.
So how do you
And
de-stress?
for me, so
This is
whatever
de-stressing.
stress, whatever stress I have, when I enter this door, it's all gone.
Oh, nice.
So for me, if I don't come here, it's stress. If I have stress, then I enter here. It's like that, to be very honest. So that's I would say. And then of course, so obviously you have your days and you have your dogs. So the day that, you burn out, all those things happen, because not every dog is used to grooming. Not every
Yes.
dog enjoys grooming.
Yes.
So on the days where you feel that, you schedule dogs that enjoy grooming. So it just gives you a sense of this thing that no,
Like-
what you're doing is right.
Like I know Oreo. She enters this lane and she starts trembling.
She doesn't
And
like it.
Whiskey likes it. So
Whiskey happily walks into the tub and
Yes.
everything, but Oreo
Yes.
is like,
yeah.
nahi to matlab. And it's been so many years, but Oreo still has her reservations. So we've still not tried, made to convince her that, okay, no, this is nice.
So you spoke about a lot of education which you did to pet parents. What were the challenges, trying to ensure that, the consistency is maintained so that people send their dogs here? And a lot of, I think a lot of education in terms of marketing also must have been done to tell people, ki, okay, this place is there. Like you said, there were very few places back then. So how did people, started evaluating quality? Because like today the scene is that there are a lot of salons, but which offer services at a lower cost also. And sometimes people question, I can get the same service at a lower cost, so why are you charging so much? So how do you educate people or justify those to pet parents?
Honestly, I don't justify, to be very honest, because it's something which I personally believe that pet parents need to do like you send your child to school, right? You
Yes.
do all your homework before
Yes.
that. Same way, I personally feel that if a pet parent is sending their pet to a salon, they do all their back-end research about that place, who is grooming over there, what is the setup like, and everything. So yeah, back in the day, it was not there. So
Yeah.
in fact, I used to wait. People should come and ask me, "Aapne kahan se seekha hai? You know, what have you done?" But none of those questions were asked to
Okay.
me. So nobody even cared whether I was certified or not certified. To be very honest.
Yeah, as in I didn't know. I
So
came to know
nobody
much
knew.
later.
And then when I put up my certificate also, and then they would look at my awards and everything, and they were like, "Okay, इसके लिए आपको formal education लगता है." So a lot of people had asked me questions like those also, and I was like, "Yeah, it is." So you know, it's not that. It wasn't very easy, to be very honest. So I always made sure that once somebody is here, so they need to have that thing that okay, their money was not wasted. I always feel that.
So, you know, today we hear a lot of stories from pet parents, you know, that a lot of malpractices happen in the pet spas. So, how true is that, or how much of it really happens, or is it like something that we as pet parents misinterpret?
No, so a part of it is true and a part of it is then in that zone that, you know, ye hua hai to har jagah wahi hoga.
Okay.
And then pet parenting as such is really evolved a lot. Now the pet parents are so so another thing I feel with pets is different with kids. From kids is different that the kid can talk and tell you.
Yes.
But the dog, end of the day, cannot talk and tell you.
Correct.
So you have to be really trusting the person where you're giving your dog, which is true. A lot of people used to ask us, "कि छोड़ के जाना क्यों है?" Now that doubt is coming. Thankfully for me, it's not that much. But I have faced something like post these that, you know, they will you be there? Or is the staff going to do that? So that is something. So honestly, I feel little unfair to the staff as well, because they really love your pets and they do a lot. You know, like, okay, I can do only so much. Without their support, I won't be able to do a lot of things.
And they've been trained well.
They've been trained well. They are in good hands. So obviously that is there. And then end of the day, I feel human behavior, this kind of a behavior is not something that you can actually evaluate in an interview thing. Because they are not going to tell you, yes, we are going to hit your dog.
Yeah.
Obviously, they're going to tell you in the interview that we
We'll
love
take
your
care
dogs.
of your dog.
We'll take care of your dog. So that is there. But yeah, as a business owner, I feel, yeah, somewhere it's your responsibility to do your due diligence at a much early stage with in your own way, you know, figuring out if this person is actually talking what he's doing, doing the talk, or he's just talking. So yeah, that homework you have to do. But I mean, other than that, yeah, I mean, you have to be there. But it's unfair that, you know, one has done it. It's like a school, right?
Yeah.
Ek teacher kharab hai doesn't mean sab teachers kharab hai.
Yes, true. So how do you think this industry, because there are a lot of businesses which are now associated with pets, especially after COVID, we suddenly saw a surge in how people were left, right and center, people were getting pets there, because people realized that, you know, your loneliness can be somehow managed with pets being around. And so did you see a spike then and then suddenly a drop,
Yes.
you know, now?
So post-COVID, we were almost like, for 2 years, we were grooming almost 3 to 4 puppies a month.
Okay.
And now in the last 1 year, we've seen sudden drop. Like in a quarter, we do 1 puppy.
So people have
So
stopped
people have stopped.
getting
So,
pets, or what is it?
So people have realized now that it's a very big responsibility.
Yeah.
So to be very honest, YouTube and Instagram initially had, honestly, I would say to a large extent, they've spoiled pets' lives. Because what you see on Instagram and what you see on YouTube is a very perfect, idealistic situation, which doesn't happen.
Which doesn't happen.
It happens, but for that one video, it takes a lot of effort.
Yes.
That takes a lot of effort and training. And parents don't have the time for that. And then they expect the dog to be idealistic. No, it's not possible.
I saw this, you are not doing this.
And then they feel that, you know, they say sit, so the dog has to sit at that point in time. Aisa nahi hota hai. You know? I mean, of course, he's supposed to listen to you, but then the dog has his own days, he has his own mind.
Yeah, he has his own temperament.
He has his own temperament and he has his own behavior, and it can change with time as well. So, you know, or with the day as well. It's not like we have our mood swings, right? They have their mood swings. So today maybe is not the day where he would want to entertain something like that, and that's okay. So, you know, but then they want very perfect dogs, but they don't want to put in training efforts into that. And then they will be like, okay, he's not behaving the way that dog was behaving. Every dog is very unique in their personality. no two dogs are the same, to be very honest. So, and people don't
It's
understand
like
that.
it's like kids. Every kid is different.
Every kid is different. Bringing up every kid is again a very different way.
Yes.
There's no one rule for every child.
Yeah, true.
So there's no one fit for every dog as well. It's the same. And but with dogs, so with dogs, what has happened, I think, is people buy dogs at impulse, which you can do, right? Because aaj man hua, evening you go and you just pick up a dog and you can come back home.
Yeah.
So that's what they are doing, like, and then
breeding has increased so much.
so
and,
because there
like,
was a huge
unethical
demand,
breeding, yes.
had increased, and now breeding. So there are very few, I would say, very genuine breeders in our country, and then breeding genuine dogs. Obviously, then if there is this kind of breeding happening, then there'll be a lot of behavioral issues,
yes,
right?
Yes.
And then people don't understand. So training for them is like, teaching them commands.
Yeah.
So then they need to now differentiate between teaching commands is different and behavioral training is different.
And I think there needs to be some education to pet parents also, that how do you handle your dog's behavior
True.
or moods.
So honestly, a lot of homework needs to be done before you get a pet home. I tell this to every, you might see a dog which is very beautiful and then you want to get that dog, but you need to first study that does your lifestyle support that kind of a dog. When I say that, that means because dogs require time, they require your emotional support as well as finances. So you need to first figure out if all these three are in sync before getting a dog.
So there was a lot of education which you did as a groomer for pet parents on necessity of grooming, on how you should prepare yourself before you get a dog, and various other things. Tell us few instances of like weird demands from pet parents when they get their pets to you.
I've not had weird demands, but yeah, they would get a different breed, and then they would want a different haircut.
Okay.
So it's like, it's not the same breed, like, so how do I do that haircut on that? It's a straight coat dog and you're like getting a picture of a curly coat dog.
Okay.
I can't change that, right? So I can definitely do what best for that. But breed transformation kaise karu main? So
but do people understand that?
They don't. That's why they come with requests like that. So I mean, yeah, not their mistake, but yeah, they'll get a Shih Tzu and they'll get a pitbull ka photo. Isko aise karna hai. Ab wo nahi ho sakta. It's two different breeds, like,
Okay.
So something like that has been a little this thing. Otherwise, I once, so that's not my style of grooming, but one parent wanted the legs completely shaved and body hair to be maintained.
Okay.
So for me also, I don't like that style. And it just doesn't come to me to do that. And she was very insistent on, nahi aap kar do, nahi aap kar do.
Sometimes you have to do what the customer
Yeah,
wants.
and then you're like, you have to do what you have to do. I was like, okay, fine. Like, you try to convince them, but it doesn't work out. So then you do what they want to. So it's not something that, so that was a very weird request that I accommodated, to be very honest.
Tell us about some of your achievements. I see you've got a lot of recognition recently also.
So my first award was when I had not even opened my salon.
Oh.
Like, I was opening it in 2 days, and there was a competition, first international grooming competition in India. I mean, pan-India, not the Indian grooming competition. So, and I had not groomed for a year, and I was like, no, I can't participate or anything. But so the guys who helped me set up my store, they were the ones who were organizing it. So they told me that,
you should participate.
You should participate. And then I was like, I have not, all that I've been doing for a year is grooming my own dog. So I was like, where will I even stand with people there, right? So he's like, it's okay, you will meet people, no harm trying, and you would just know where you're standing. Worst case scenario is what I thought. Like, I was like, chal, theek hai. Let me just give it a try, like, so at least I'll meet people. So I just participated and I stood second.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, wow. So and that kind of honestly gave me a very good confidence in me to open. And that happening just 2 days before the opening was another very
it reinforces the belief in yourself.
In myself, that okay, fine, I can do it. I still remember it and it's not forgotten, and it is like something. So yeah, that was one thing. And then after 5 years, they again held the same competition. So then I again participated, and so that's when I came first.
Oh.
Yeah, so that was again a very beautiful thing. So I was like, okay, fine. Then.
So are there organizations in India or aggregators in India who consistently do such things to recognize?
So now we have an association called PPGI. So
Okay.
that's so that is that
So
they
is
conduct
it
lot
like a
of-
private thing
it's
or a government?
groomers, no, it's a private thing.
Okay.
So it started by one of the groomers who's been in the industry for the longest time. So
Okay.
she started it, and so that's an association where they focus on education a lot. So now so back in the days, that's what I'm trying to tell you, that back in the day we had to travel everywhere, wherever we had to learn. So all of us of that generation have actually traveled to places and countries and learned from groomers, because it's a skill-based job,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So end of the day, yeah, you have to learn. And the more you learn from experienced people, is more you become better at the skill. So it's all about practice. So back in the day, we didn't have, but now that we've spent so many years in the industry, we know now. So now that's why I've also got into teaching. There are a lot of other groomers, senior groomers, who've got into teaching because we realize the value of learning and getting that in
skilled
India.
labor, skilled labor in
again,
this.
yeah. So
this
that was again
category.
one of my reasons, because when I was searching for groomers, I would not get them, and it was so difficult for me to trust them also. And then it was like they would say something, but end of the day, yeah, they've all been self-taught. I mean, no disrespecting to it. Of course, they're doing good and whatever, but not to the level that we would expect. So that's when I thought that let's get into teaching, so that and then safety again was something which was very compromised, is what I noticed.
Okay.
So when I started grooming, so that was something which I really wanted to focus. So that's why I thought that let's teach. And yeah.
Do you have plans of getting into grooming, not just dogs, some other pet category?
So we groom dogs and cats over here. So for now, yeah, we've groomed rabbits, one of the Angora rabbits here, but
I didn't know rabbits come for grooming, is it?
yeah, so the Himalayan Angora rabbits, so one of my clients only, she was visiting the north, so she found it there, and then she was like, okay, nahi chahiye, so she got 2 from there. So yeah, we groomed her rabbit, but I don't know, I just find more connected to dogs for some strange reason.
So you did a course, initial course from Singapore, and then that's when you started the salon. After being so many years into grooming, pet grooming, did you ever think of that, yes, I need to learn something more, I need to do something more, or learn some more skills which I'm missing, or which can help me become a much better pet groomer?
So honestly, I'm a very firm believer of learning never stops. So I'm really hungry for learning. Even today, I will learn something, and I think everybody can teach you. You just need to learn. Like anybody and everybody can teach you anything. Even the students can sometimes teach us a lot of things, So it's not necessary that only you're teaching them. Sometimes they also end up teaching you a lot of things.
So with this, we come to our last section, which is the most fun section. I love this section. I call it the quick pause, which is like a rapid fire. You don't get time to think. You have to answer fatafat.
Do I get options?
No options. These are not MCQs.
It's not fair.
Great.
Quick means you need MCQs.
Easy, simple ones.
Okay.
Dog person, cat person.
Dog person.
If your pet could talk, say if Ginger could talk, okay, what would he say to you?
Honestly, I feel blessed
that they don't
talk. I swear. So I can look at their expression and interpret the way I want to. I can give it my version of interpretation that, okay, maybe he wants to say this, and I would never feel that, he's saying that, okay. But if he could talk possibly the right things, I don't know. So the barking is good for me. Barking is a good music for me. I would not.
Okay. So people usually say that dogs take some bits of their owner's personality. What is your personality trait which you feel your dogs have taken from you?
My elder one is very stubborn.
Okay.
So yeah, that is one thing everybody keeps telling me now, taste your medicine. So it's like that. Honestly, I cried a lot to get him and everything. And it's so that now he's my mom's dog, he's not my dog. So, but thankfully, thanks to him, I have Ginger, who's like my dog, who actually is like, who waits for me and who's interested in me. Even when others are around, but my elder one is not. So yeah,
he's changed parties now.
Before only.
Okay.
When he came only. I cried for him. I was the one who got him. And it was like, so after my first dog passed away, honestly, so it was like, actually my first dog actually taught me what a loss feels like, to be very honest. Before him, I had never experienced the loss of a closed one, losing a closed one, the feeling of, losing a closed one. So he was the one who taught me that okay, this is what it took us a lot of time to get over when, he left us. So after that, it was like, no pet in the house kind of a thing for the longest time. So when I did my grooming course and I was coming back, I was like, no, I need a dog now. So to cut the story short, I had a lot of back and forth, being cheated by breeders and stuff like that. All that happened, but so I actually have cried for him to come, and then my sister was like, okay, no, I'll get you. And I wanted a poodle only, so she was like, okay, we'll figure out. So she figured out some breeder, and then she got Milo for me, and I still remember, like, we were just waiting at the airport so he was supposed to come from a 4 o'clock flight, then he ended up coming at a 6 o'clock flight. He landed at 8 o'clock. By the time we reached home, it was like late in the evening, and so it was a surprise for my parents because we knew कि पूछा तो नहीं होगा, तो we just got him. So, and then when he entered, both mom and dad, who's he? And we're like, oh, he's going to be here. And they are like, no.
Your fourth child.
And then they were like, no. And then my dad was like, please send him from where he's come. And I'm like, ऐसे कैसे जा सकता है वो भी? So he's like, नहीं भेज दो. And I was like, ठीक है. तो my mom was like, ठीक है, सुबह देखते हैं. And that.
वो सुबह कभी नहीं आती.
And then cut to morning. So my parents have this morning tea habit. Like they'll sit and have tea together. And that tea conversation was my dad telling कि I think ये grill में से ना ये pass out हो सकता है, तो मैं यहाँ पे वो लगा देता हूँ.
So everybody started preparing.
Yeah,
now.
it was like, when I wake up in the morning, these are the conversations that is happening. I'm like, okay, fine, you're not going anywhere, you're staying here. Kattu, he becomes my mother's pet, and he was so possessive about my mother that he would end up growling at me also. Like I couldn't go and hug my mother. He would growl at me.
Yeah, they get very possessive.
He was very possessive about my mother, and I'm like, I'm the one who got you. But it was like that.
So Shweta, what's the story behind Yes Says Doggy? So I usually pronounce it as Yes Says Doggy. So what's your story?
So this name, so I worked in an ad agency, like I told you. So this name was given to me, name and the logo was given to me by my boss.
Okay.
So as a parting gift, and good luck to my future. So yeah, that's what he did. And so the consumer insight behind that was that pets are usually a no, right, to grooming. So they've always been like, nahi karana hai. Or they're very aversive to grooming per se. So the whole idea was that at Yes Says Doggy, it's always a yes.
Yeah, oh nice.
So that's where
so they look forward to coming here.
They should always be looking forward to coming to Yes Says Doggy. And whenever you say, let's go to Yes Says Doggy, it should always be yes.
Oh, nice.
So that's how the name came. Like that's the idea behind the name.
Very interesting. Yeah. We spoke to Shweta Verma today, the pet groomer at Yes Says Doggy in Navi Mumbai. Stay tuned for our next episode of Tales with MD, where we will speak to another wonderful guest. Thank you.